Imagine walking out to your backyard during a record-breaking summer heatwave, looking at your neighbor's expensive, prized fruit trees completely wilting, drying up and dropping their leaves, while your tiny, unassuming backyard bushes are absolutely exploding with 10 times more fresh, juicy fruit than those massive trees could ever dream of producing, even in a perfect year. It sounds like a total fantasy, but the reality is that the modern food system we rely on every single day is shockingly weak, fragile, and built on an agricultural lie that has convinced millions of people that they need massive pieces of land and giant, towering trees just to feed their families, when the real secret to survival and total food security is hiding right in plain sight inside compact, indestructible, high-yield plants that modern industrial farming completely ignores. Before we dive deep into the fascinating world of these secret superplants and learn exactly how you can turn a tiny strip of dirt along your fence line into an unstoppable, self-sustaining food machine, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the like button right now, so you never miss out on these life-changing backyard survival hacks. For generations, big commercial agricultural systems have forced us to rely on a tiny handful of global staple crops like corn, wheat, and towering orchard trees that take 5 to 7 years of constant watering, heavy chemical fertilizers, climbing dangerous ladders, and brutal pruning schedules. Just to give you one single unpredictable harvest a year that a single late winter frost or sudden summer dry spell can completely wipe out overnight. But while those giant trees are wasting all of their biological energy building thick wood, massive trunks, and towering branches just to look impressive, compact powerhouse bushes are playing an entirely different game by channeling 100% of their root power directly into non-stop fruit and calorie production. If you think about it, a traditional fruit tree spends its first 5 years just building a massive skeletal structure, which means you are spending hundreds of dollars on water, mulch, and pest control for half a decade without getting a single piece of food in return. If you want to build real bulletproof food security in your backyard without wasting half a decade of your life waiting for a regular tree to mature, you need to understand the biological cheat codes of plants, like the goji berry, which looks like a tiny, pathetic twig when you first put it in the ground, but quickly turns into a non-stop berry factory that pumps out continuous waves of nutrient-dense food throughout the entire growing season, instead of just performing once and going silent for the rest of the year. Goji berries don't just yield heavily. They are packed with powerful antioxidants, vitamins, and amino acids that make them an elite survival food. Because the bush stays relatively compact, you don't need crazy pruning skills or high ladders. You literally walk right up to your fence line, pick a handful of fresh berries, and walk away. If you love the idea of beating the system and growing your own unstoppable food forest, go ahead and hit that like button right now, because we are just getting started. Another absolute champion of the backyard microfarm is the honeyberry, an incredibly unfair plant that leaves traditional fruit trees in the dust by waking up and producing massive clusters of delicious berries in the very early spring, long before strawberries, blueberries, or regular orchard trees even realize winter is over. While a sudden, unexpected late frost will freeze and completely destroy the blossoms on an apple or peach tree, ruining an entire year's harvest in a single night, honeyberry flowers are practically bulletproof against freezing temperatures, surviving temperatures as low as 14 degrees Fahrenheit without dropping a petal. This incredible frost resistance ensures that even when the weather goes completely crazy and shifts due to global climate cycles, your backyard food supply stays completely secure and productive. If you are finding this information useful and want to help push this video to more people who want to become self-sufficient, please take a second to hit that subscribe button because it incredibly helps the channel grow. Now, let's talk about the absolute powerhouse known as the Nanking Cherry, which completely rewrites everything we've ever been taught about traditional cherry orchards, because instead of growing into a fragile, slow-growing, towering tree that requires professional spray rigs and a literal tractor to harvest, it stays at a perfectly manageable chest level where you can walk right up and easily pick your harvest without ever needing a ladder or risking a broken branch. Nanking cherries grow incredibly fast and will often start bearing fruit just a year or two after planting, producing beautiful, bright red gems that are perfect for fresh eating, making jams, or baking. Over a 10-year period, the sheer consistency of these compact bushes outproduces traditional trees because they simply do not suffer from the unpredictable off years that plague large orchards, meaning you get a reliable, dense wall of food season after season without any of the high-maintenance drama. If you are enjoying these practical backyard tips, do not forget to drop a comment below and hit that like button to let me know. But what if your goal isn't just sweet fruit, but serious survival-level calorie production that can actually sustain a family when the grocery store shelves go empty? That is exactly where the bush form hazelnut comes into play, shifting the entire conversation from simple sugars to dense energy, healthy fats, and high-quality protein that can be stored long-term in your pantry for months or even years without rotting or spoiling. Traditional nut trees like walnuts, oaks, or pecans grow into towering giants that take up half an acre of land and take 15 years to produce a single nut, but bushy hazelnuts grow rapidly into compact hedges that double as an elite windbreak or privacy screen for your property, while loading their multiple lower stems with massive amounts of easy-to-harvest nuts. This means you are maximizing your vertical and horizontal space simultaneously, trapping wind, creating privacy, and harvesting clean protein, all from a plant that requires zero chemical inputs. If you want to learn how to turn your yard into a literal survival fortress, make sure you are subscribed to this channel with notifications turned on. We also have to look at the legendary blueberry bush, which a lot of people think is just an ordinary grocery store fruit. But when you plant multiple varieties together in a backyard system to encourage cross-pollination, they become an incredibly deceptive heavy producer that yields more total pounds of food per square foot than almost any towering fruit tree on the planet. Unlike fragile trees that demand pristine, perfect soil conditions and throw a massive tantrum if the ground gets a little too wet or a little too dry, an established patch of blueberries will lock into a permanent production rhythm that increases in volume every single year, while remaining perfectly compact and within easy arm's reach of a kid. If you agree that growing smart is way better than growing big, smash that like button right now. And if you really want to talk about plant engineering at its finest, you have to look at the jostaberry, which is a brilliant genetic cross between a black currant and a gooseberry, intentionally bred to take the absolute best, toughest traits of both parents while completely dropping their biological weaknesses. The result is a hyper-vigorous, thornless, disease-resistant superbush that thrives in partial shade, poor soil, and cooler climates where regular fruit trees would immediately stunt and die, giving backyard growers a massive advantage because it allows you to utilize those dark, useless corners of your yard along your house or under larger trees to produce heavy clusters of deeply nutritious, tangy fruit. If you want to discover more hidden agricultural secrets that industrial farming tries to hide from you, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Finally, we cannot forget traditional red and black currants, which are the ultimate underdogs of the micro-farming world because they refuse to waste a single drop of water or nutrient energy on building a useless wood trunk, choosing instead to stay low to the ground and focus every ounce of their being on stacking heavy, beautiful ropes of berries that are packed with more vitamin C than oranges. Because currants are incredibly shade-tolerant and actually prefer less than perfect conditions, they allow you to design a layered, cooperative food forest where plants work together instead of competing for space, turning even the smallest suburban backyard into a high-yielding agricultural paradise. When you stack all of these bushes together along your property lines, you create a multi-layered shield against food insecurity that doesn't care about extreme heat waves, sudden frost patterns, or supply chain collapses. The real truth of food security is that it doesn't come from owning acres of land or buying expensive, high-maintenance trees. It comes from breaking away from industrial farming myths, designing smart, compact systems, and relying on ultra-resilient, heavy-producing bushes that protect your time, save your money, and feed your family year after year without any of the drama. Which of these invincible, high-yield backyard bushes are you going to plant along your fence line this spring to take control of your own food supply? Let me know in the comments below, smash that like button, and hit subscribe to join our growing community of smart backyard growers.